Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giravaratari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giravaratari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giravaratari Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giravaratari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giravaratari Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Jayam Swa Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parvajakacharya Asatar Satasi Srimad Abhay Charnarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Jayam Swa Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parvajakacharya Asatar Satasi Srimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Sri Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Sri Mathura Dham Ki Jai Sri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai Tulasi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Shri Shri Gaurnitai Ki Jai Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 1, the first step in God realization. Text number 18. Niyache Vishayebhya Akshan Manasa Buddhi Sarati Mana Karmabhi Ikshiptam Subarte Daraye Diya Niyache Vishayebhyo Shan Manasa Buddhi Saratihi Manakarmabhir Akshiptam Subarte Daraye Diya Niyache Vishayebhyo Shan Manasa Buddhi Saratihi Manakarmabhir Ikshiptam Subarte Darya Diya Niyache Vishayebhyo Shan Manasa Buddhi Saratihi Manakarmabhir Akshiptam Subarte Darye Diya
Yachet Vishayebhyo Kshan Manasa Buddhi Saratihi Manakarmabhir Akshiptam Shubharte Dharayetya.
Niyache Vishayebhyo Kshan Manasa Buddhi Saratihi Manakarmabhir Akshiptam Shubharte Darayetya.
Niyachet Vishayebhyo Kshan Manasa Buddhi Saratihi Manakarmabhir Akshiptam Shubharte Daraye Diya Niyachet Vishayebhyo Kshan Manasa Buddhi Saratahi Manakarmabhir Akshiptam Shubharte Darayedya Nyashir Vishem Ebyosyan Manasa Buddhi Sarati Manakarma Birakshiptam Shubharte Darayedya Niyached Vishaye Byokshan Manasa Buddhi Saratihi Manakarma Virakshiptam Shubharte
Niyached Vishaye Byokshan Manasa Buddhi Saratihi Mana Karma Virakshiptam Shubharte Darayedya
Niyached Vishaye Byokshan Manasa Buddhi Saratihi Mana Karma Virakshiptam Subharte Darayedya
Niyached Vishaye Byokshan Manasa Buddhi Saratihi Mana Karma Virakshiptam Shubharte Darayedya
Niyache, withdrawal. Vishayebhya, from sense engagements. Akshan, the senses. Manasa, by dint of the mind. Buddhi, intelligence. Sarati, driver. Mana, the mind. Karma be, by the fruit of work. Ikshiptam, being absorbed in. Subharte, for the sake of the Lord. Darye, hold up. Diya, in full consciousness. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Gradually, as the mind becomes progressively spiritualized, withdrawn from sense activities, and by intelligence, the senses can be controlled. The senses will be controlled. The mind, being too much absorbed in material activities, can be engaged in the service of the personality of Godhead and become fixed in full transcendental consciousness. Purport. The first process of spiritualizing the mind by mechanical chanting of the pranava omkara and controlling the breathing system is technically called the mystic or yogic process of pranayama, or fully controlling the breathing air. The ultimate state of this pranayama system is to become fixed up in trance, technically called the stage of samadhi, but experience has proven that even the samadhi stage also fails to control the materially absorbed mind. For example, the great mystic Vishwamitra Muni, even in the stage of samadhi, became a victim of the senses and cohabited with Menaka. History has already recorded it. The mind, although ceasing to think of sensual activities at present, remembers past sensual activities from the subconscious status, and thus disturbs one from 100% engagement in self-realization. Therefore, Shukadev Goswami recommends the next step of assured policy, namely to fix one's mind in the service of the personality of Godhead. Lord Shri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, also recommends this direct process in the Bhagavad Gita 647. Thus, the mind, being spiritually cleansed, one should at once engage himself in the transcendental, loving service of the Lord by the different devotional activities of hearing, chanting, etc. That is the surest path of progress, even for the disturbed mind, if performed under proper guidance. Jai Shri Shri Gaurnitai. Translation again. Gradually, as the mind becomes progressively spiritualized, withdrawn from sense activities, and by intelligence, the senses will be controlled. The mind, being too much absorbed in material activities, can be engaged in the service of the personality of Godhead and become fixed in full transcendental consciousness. When a person drinks too much hot milk, there's a possibility of becoming diseased with diarrhea. And the cure for diarrhea is to take another milk product, namely yogurt. And in the same way, material activities is our disease condition. And the less intelligent want to stop all activities. But the bhakti yogis, they engage themselves in the activities of service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thus their material condition, their disease condition, is automatically cured. So this is the process of taking one thing, activities. Activities can be either material or spiritual, just like electricity can be used either for heating and cooling. And sometimes the neophytes in spiritual life, they try to stop all material activities. They think spiritual life is a kind of inertia, sitting down and meditating. And Sukadev Goswami, he's the supreme authority here. He recommends one could sit down on a proper seat in the secluded sacred place and meditate, but this meditation should be on either the transcendental sound or the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu. So the spiritual soul is by nature active. Sometimes when the child is naughty, he's recommended to sit down in the corner or stand up in a corner, but he does not like this, and he cannot remain inactive for very long because the spiritual soul is by nature active. Everyone wants to do something. And the best activities are activities in the service for the benefit of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the last sentence in this purport is very instructive. Prabhupada writes, that is the surest path of progress, even for the disturbed mind, if performed under proper guidance. That's a big if. If the so-called devotional service is performed whimsically, disregarding sadhus, disregarding shastra, disregarding guru, then it's simply a disturbance in human society. So the guru is essential, and service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is essential, and that has to be performed according to the rules and regulations of the previous acharyas. Sanatana Goswami laid down in the Hari Bhakti Vilas many rules and regulations of devotional service, and also Rupa Goswami. So we have to follow in the footsteps of these great acharyas, and our path back home, back to Godhead, will be assured. And this chanting the Pranava Omkara is also recommended in Vedic literature. In the Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 18, chapter 16, where Krishna, this Omkara is the transcendental seed, which is the source of everything in the material world. And the Bible also says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So this Omkara is a sound representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And formerly it was uttered by Brahmins during performance of sacrifices for the attainment of the Supreme. And during the Abhishek ceremony of the Arshavigraha form of the Lord, the Pujaris chant, Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namaha. And after the Abhishek, sometimes during initiation ceremonies, the Guru also chants Om Tat Sat. And while offering the sacred thread, one also chants Om Tat Sat. So this Om Tat Sat is found throughout the Vedic literature, and it represents the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. And the Vaishnavas recommend chanting this Omkara as well as the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and the Panchatattva Mahamantra. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was instructing Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he said that Sripad Sankaracharya, in his Sarvika Bhashya, he neglected the chanting of the Omkara. Instead, Sripad Sankaracharya stressed the chanting of the mantra Tattvam Asi. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pointed out that this Tattvam Asi is meant for the conditioned soul, whereas the chanting of Om Tat Sat, Omkara, or Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. These are mantras meant for the liberated soul. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu found hundreds of defects in Sankaracharya's Sariraka Bhashya. So, as a result, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that anyone who reads this treatise by Sripad Sankaracharya, his spiritual life is doomed because it's all imaginary. He basically on the Vedic instructions, but he interpreted the Sanskrit words in an imaginary way to promote impersonalism, the Mayavadi philosophy. So therefore, the Vaishnavas should not even touch this Sariraka Bhashya. It's poison. And pranayama, this breathing process, is also recommended for the materially attached person. In the yoga system, this pranayama is meant for purifying the soul, because the soul is floating in 5 kinds of contaminated air within the heart. It's floating in the airs prana, apana, vyana, samana, and idana. And when the airs are purified by practicing this hatha yoga along with pranayama, then one can attain to the mode of goodness. And when the mode of goodness is purified, Shuddha-sattva, one can attain to devotional service, which is the ultimate goal of life. In Bhakti Yoga, the means and the end are the same: service to Krishna and service to Guru. There's nothing higher. As Krishna says in 647, of all yogis, he who abides with me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. Are there any comments or questions? Yes, Dr. Jia.
First question that I had was, what was that treatise that Shankaracharya wrote? That we should never, like, I'm not going to read it, but
Yeah, it's
but I just would like to know so that for my notes.
Shariraka Bhashya.
Oh, okay.
It's mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita in several places, especially in Madhya Lila.
Okay. And then the second question is, so I was having a thought today in Japa that I don't know if this is something that I thought before I came to Krishna consciousness, but when I did basically what it is like, I was thinking, like, would it be better to just say to myself, to do better service, can we think that that it's all in the mind? Because, like, when I was just having this stream of consciousness, stream of thoughts that was like, okay, if I just say this to myself, will it actually help me? Does it actually help when we say, like, this is just in the mind and we don't have to worry about these thoughts and things like that, like different things, like even for service and stuff like that, physical service?
In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, one's mind is one's friend or enemy, and the mind of the conditioned soul is one's enemy. But when one's mind is, the mind is trained to become a friend. If the mind is trained to always think of Krishna, always think how to serve Krishna, how to perform my service for the satisfaction of Krishna and Guru, then the mind is the friend. Otherwise, the mind is the greatest enemy. So the mind can lead us to hell, or it can lead us to heaven, or it can lead us to Krishna Loka. Depends on the state of mind at the time of death. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. I was wondering if you could maybe talk more about whimsical devotional service and how I know Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, but is there anything deeper than that? Or like more apparent? Like sometimes we're doing service and, devotee's not around for us to talk to, or they're busy, or sometimes it's wrong timing when we have like questions for devotees. So I was wondering how like we don't do things whimsically.
If the Guru asks you to bring him a glass of water, and if you think, well, milk is better than water, I'll bring my Guru a glass of milk. That's called whimsical service. It's service, but it's not devotional service. So obedience is the first law of discipline.
So that's a very nice point. I guess I'm wondering next is how do we determine what the needful is when we haven't been specifically told what to do? Say we finish a task and we see maybe some cleaning that could be done. How do we know that cleaning is okay?
Well, if you see a piece of trash lying outside and you don't pick it up, that's neglectful. So just takes a couple of seconds to do a little bit of cleaning or to pick up some trash. And that'll please the Guru, that'll please Krishna, that'll please Sri Sri Gaur Nitai. Dhanapur Maharaj, is that correct?
I think it's a good example.
Yeah. Thank you. It's time for the Sankirtan Festival. All glories to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhu.
You like this Bhagavatam? Yeah, it's nice and good. It's almost looks like
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama.
Here are the book scores for this week of February 13th. We'll read them for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada, the assembled Vaishnavas, Sri Sri Gaur Nitai, Tulsi Maharani, and the Sampradaya Acharyas. So we had 7 book distributors this week. Oh wait, we had 8 book distributors this week. In position with 1 medium book, 4.5 book points, Radhastali Devidasi. Hello. In 7th position we have some Maha sweets. If everyone can come and get a Maha sweet. In 7th position with 1 Arabic small book for a total of 3 book points. Bhakta Fred Prabhu. Hare Krishna. In 6th position, Hare Krishna, with 4 small books, 1 big book, 2 Maha big books, for a total of 6 book points. Jai Keshava Prabhu. Haribo. In 5th position, with 10 small books, 5 medium books, 6 big books, and 6 Maha big books for a total of 23 book points. Magadari Prabhu. Haribo. In fourth position, with 15 small books, 1 medium book, 8 big books, 11 Maha big books, for a total of 34.25 book points, Bhakti Jiyo Prabhu. In third position, with 3 Arabic small books, 1 magazine, 24 small books, 1 medium book, 18 big books, and 8 Maha big books, for a total of 49.6 book points, Rishi Kumar Das. In second position, with 38 small books, 16 big books, 19 Maha big books, for a total of 63.5 book points, Bhakti Damodar Prabhu. And in first position, with 1 Srimad Bhagavatam set, for 72 book points, Krishna Bhagavan Prabhu. And that makes the total for this week: 1 magazine, 4 Arabic small books, 91 small books, 8 medium books, 49 big books, 46 Maha big books, and 1 Srimad Bhagavatam set, for a total of 251.26 book points. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Maybe KB could tell us on the Zoom about this Srimad Bhagavatam set? Or we could come back to him if it's better. Oh, he's coming up. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So there's a regular class attender online named Margie, the lady that was here last night, and she's probably on Facebook right now. But she was interested in getting more books after the announcements I made, so she initially wanted to get the Nectar of Devotion. She had any recommendations, and then I showed her the Bhagavatam and told her it was the next step, the graduate to Bhagavad Gita, and so she happily took the Bhagavatam set. Haribol.
So on Saturday, I encountered some guy, and I showed him the Bhagavad Gita, and he said, "Oh wow, the Bhagavad Gita! I used to have this, and I lost it." And he said, "This is such a beautiful book," and he's glorifying the Bhagavad Gita, and he took it, and it was really nice. Transcendental book, Shri Shri Gita.
There was one I forgot to mention last week, which stood out to Bhakti Damodar and I, which was that we went to this little Spanish shopping plaza, and we went in Little Caesar's Pizza, and we were trying to give this guy a book, and he just gave us the change that was in the change thing on the counter, and then he said, "I could give you guys a pizza," and at first we said, "No, that's okay. We eat very a specific way." But there was also a song playing on the radio in the store, and it was saying, "Take it, take it." So he said, "Actually, can we take that pizza?" And so he gave us a medium pizza, and we were walking out of the door, and this guy was walking in the door, and we started showing him the books, and he was a really nice Spanish father. And we were saying, "Yeah, can you keep these and just give a donation?" And he was saying, "Well, I only brought enough money for this pizza, and I need to buy this pizza for my family and this, that." And we said, if you take these books and give a donation, we'll give you the books and a pizza for free." And so he took the books and the pizza and gave a donation.
He saved you.
So we went to the Row Boulevard Walmart, and I saw this lady with some cool pants on, and I was like, wow, those are really cool pants. She was like, wow, thank you. And I started telling her about the books. And she started like really, not freaking out, but like she started getting emotional. And she was telling me that her husband had just been diagnosed with leukemia, and that this is like a sign or something like that, and it was really inspiring. So I got her a big book and a small book, and she was really happy with it. So yeah, Haribo. Jai.
We went to the plaza, and then we were doing the Harinam, and I walked by some ladies that were sitting at a table, and I asked them if they had our books, and they said, one of them said, yeah, I have those, and I said, oh, that's amazing. Did you get to read it? And she said something, but I wasn't very convinced. But there was two of them, and then I showed them the mantra, and then I showed them the book, and I gave them Krishna book, and one of the ladies was pretty happy about it, and she was pretty determined to give a donation, even though her friend said, no, don't do it, we don't have time, and all this, but she gave nicely $20, so I gave her 3 nice books, and that was it.
Before going to the plaza on Saturday, we stopped by Loose Park, and we're walking around doing a nice walking kirtan, which was a lot of fun. And we just, we're going from person to person. Magadar was leading us, trying to get each individual to chant the mantra. And we stopped by this couple sitting on a bench, and they were Spanish speakers. I'm not for sure which country they were from. But they took prasadam, and they also took 2 Spanish books, and I kind of fumbled through some Spanish to distribute them. Although I'm pretty sure they also spoke English, but anyway, it was fun to do that. So they got the nectar. Transcendental Book Distribution Key.
Hare Krishna. We were at the plaza on Saturday, and I was just admiring how Bhakti Damodar is pretty expert at giving books out. He was just like, Bhakti Fred, can you just point to someone and go? And I pointed to a group, and then he just went after them, and I think he gave them a book. But it was just cool to see how a devotee functions. Hare Krishna.
I don't have very many highlights. The book that I distributed was here at RVC, and it was to the same nice devotee lady that got the Srimad Bhagavatam. She loves to read, and as soon as she saw the nectar of instruction, she said, "Oh, I want that one," and I was like, "Oh, okay, well here you go," and that's all. I have highlights from like other devotees' book distribution, but I won't share that right now. Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai.